Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for Wlbt Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, your digital news desk host, and it is Tuesday. I almost said Thursday. Got a little ahead of myself. It is Tuesday, and I'm even wrong there. It is Wednesday, August the 13th. I apologize for that. I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching on our website or through our mobile app, we appreciate you. And if you're watching on any of our social streams, don't forget you can always join the conversation there. If you have any question, comments, thoughts, suggestions, maybe I look at a calendar very good before I start talking, something like that. Go ahead and put it in the comment section. And of course, let me know where you're watching from, or, if you just want to say, hey, you can put that there as well. We have a lot to get into today, but before we do that, let's take a look over the mighty Mississippi with our Vicksburg Skycam. You can see it is a beautiful day out there. Got a barge out on the river, and it's just a gorgeous day outside. It is a hot day, though. We are under a heat advisory, so just be aware of that. Our temperatures are in the mid 90s with heat indices across the area over into triple digits in a lot of places. So just be mindful of that. We are going to be looking at our abbreviated version of our forecast in just a little bit, and our first alert weather team will be here later to give you the in-depth version. Britt saying hello and happy Wednesday. Britt, I could have used you a few minutes ago when I was saying that it was Thursday and then Tuesday. It is actually Wednesday. No, happy Wednesday to you too as well, Britt. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the news. The first thing that we want to bring you today is the search is still on for a man in Rankin County. So Rankin County authorities say that the ground search resumed this morning for a man who has been missing since Sunday. Extra resources were called in yesterday to find 52-year-old Tracy Chalk. He was last seen walking in the woods Sunday near Woodrow Martin Road. Law enforcement conducted periodic infrared drone searches throughout the night last night, and deputies will try to find new evidence today during their search. A silver alert is in effect for Chalk, and deputies say that he has been diagnosed with the early stages of dementia. So if you have any information on him or where he is located, he was last seen walking in a wooded area in Rankin County. So if you have any information on him, please contact the Rankin County Sheriff's Department. Again, was last seen walking in the woods Sunday near Woodrow Martin Road. So if you have any information, please reach out to the Sheriff's Department. And Ridgeland police are asking for your help and to find a wanted suspect. And this is the female on your screen. 39-year-old Megan Davis is wanted for 2 counts of aggravated animal cruelty. Now, police did not specify where the crime happened. We just know that she is wanted for that. So if you have any information on her whereabouts, please contact Ridgeland Police or the Central Mississippi Crime Stoppers. And Jackson police have identified the suspect who is accused of shooting at a woman while she was leaving church. So JPD says that warrants have been issued for LaDavia Scott of Jackson. She is wanted for aggravated assault, drive-by shooting, and shooting into an occupied vehicle. Again, the shooting happened August the 3rd on Northside Drive near Country Club Drive. We brought you this story earlier where Councilman Kenneth Stokes held a press conference, had this a woman there who was a victim of this on her way home from church. Someone stopped in front of her. There was a vehicle behind her, and the person that was in front of her shot through her vehicle and what she believed was an attempt to get to the vehicle, hit the vehicle that was behind her. She also talked about how normally she has her granddaughter with her, and that day she didn't. So the warrants have been issued for the suspect, LaDavia Scott of Jackson. If you have any information on her whereabouts, please contact the Jackson Police Department. And there is new information today on the child who was hit by a vehicle while crossing the road after school yesterday in Madison. So here on your screen is a map. You can see where the accident happened. It was on Old Canton Road next to Madison Ridgeland Academy. And this happened a little before 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So Madison police say that a teenager was driving a Toyota Tundra when a young girl was hit as she was trying to cross the road. The girl was rushed to the hospital, and she was last listed in serious but stable condition. The driver of the truck, 16 years old. The victim who was hit is 12 years old. Madison PD say that no other details are being released at this time due to children being involved. And of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to that little girl and her family, and we hope that she has a quick recovery from her injuries. I'm looking here on our social stream. We have Miss Dixie tuning in. Hello, Miss Dixie. How are you? Melissa Price tuning in. Hi, Melissa. Hope you are having a great day. Thank you all for watching. Now, coming back here to Jackson, where various groups are trying to help the residents of Blossom Apartments find new places to live. But Jackson city leaders say they need more time to help get everyone out. So a relocation assistance meeting was held last night at the Stewpot Community Services. Residents are looking for new living arrangements after water was shut off at the complex on Woodbine Street because the owner, Tony Little, did not pay the bill. So the Mississippi Home Corporation gave Little 72 hours to relocate his tenants. That deadline was moved to today after public outcry from residents and city leaders, including Mayor John Horn, who says that tenants won't be able to make the deadline.
It's taking a little bit longer time than that. So tomorrow we'll be requesting a further extension from the judge. Hopefully he'll be accommodating on that, but we'll see.
Now, Mayor Horn says the additional time is needed for inspection and approval of new housing. Jackson Water terminated service at that complex after the owner failed to pay a past due bill of more than $400,000. Federal Judge Henry Wingate issued an order to turn the water back on temporarily while residents get moved out. The mayor wants to work with state leaders for stiffer penalties for landlords who violate rental agreements. Miss Tanya Downs asking here if there's any update on the Rankin County man that is missing. You're just now tuning in. The only update that we have thus far, Miss Tanya, is that they are continuing to search for him. They used drones with infrared cameras on them last night, and they were expected to bring out more equipment and more technology to help search for him today, but we don't have any other details other than that. But once we get those in, we will certainly update you guys on those, both on air and online. So make sure you have the WLBT News app downloaded so you can get the notifications on the breaking news as we get it in to us. Also, see Shakia here saying hello to everyone. Hi, Shakia. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for watching with us. So another group has filed an objection to a federal judge subpoena for records related to the Siemens settlement with the city of Jackson. So yesterday, Siemens Corporation filed an objection to the subpoena that was issued by Judge Henry Wingate last month. At the heart of the matter is how the city of Jackson spent nearly $90 million that it received as a settlement with Siemens Industry. The company objects for several reasons, including the city sued Siemens Industry, not Siemens Corporation. So far, 18 subpoenas have been issued in this matter. And of course, we are following it and we'll bring you updates as they come in to us. And in the city of Jackson, there are some new restrictions on regarding face mask in the city to help keep you safe. So yesterday, the Jackson City Council unanimously approved an ordinance banning people from wearing masks in outdoor public spaces, including sidewalks, roads, and alleyways. Anyone found in violation of the law can be fined up to $500 or receive 90 days in jail, or even both. Now, if the court finds that the person was wearing a mask while committing a crime, it can be increased to $1,000 and up to 6 months in jail. Ward 3 Councilman Kenneth Stokes believes that this law will help reduce crime in the capital city.
Even though there's some concerns about constitutional issues, we got to save as many of these kids' lives as we could save. And the only way you're going to do it, you got to let it be known that this is illegal. It's outlawed. Because if you don't do that, that same little old kid, 12, gonna put on that mask, try to rob somebody, and get killed.
So exemptions include children younger than the age of 14 and adults who are 60 years or older. You also won't be fined if you're wearing a mask for health, work, or religious reasons. And another ordinance that was passed is, something else that was passed yesterday for the city of Jackson is tougher penalties if you are caught dumping trash illegally here in Jackson. So the city council also unanimously approved this new ordinance that says any motor vehicle used in the act of illegal dumping can actually be seized by the Jackson Police Department and used as evidence. The vehicle can also be sold to recover costs associated with cleaning up dump sites. So if you are convicted of illegal dumping, you will face a minimum of 32 days in jail.
So I would hope we will consider, let's get this as a law now so that we can try our hardest to stop some of this dumping that's taking place. You can clean up an area today and they'll be right back tomorrow, if not tonight. So we got to try to do something. I think this is a good idea that we need to move forward.
Council President Brian Grizzell wrote the ordinance, and he says that this sends a clear message that the council has zero tolerance for environmental crimes. And we have an update now on the status of a closed hotel that is across from the fairgrounds in Jackson. So you can see here heavy equipment was on site at Regency Hotel on Graymont Street, but the State Department of Finance and Administration says it is not being torn down just yet. The agency says that crews are still removing asbestos from the roof. This process is expected to continue through at least mid-October. Now, no date has been given at this point when actual demolition will begin. The former Ramada Coliseum Hotel was shut down by the city in 2022 after a judge cited multiple code violations. Before we get into more news, including this week's Fight the Blight for the city of Jackson, we need to hear from our sponsors at Jackson Water.
Time for a neighborly tip from Jackson Water. Is it okay to pour fats, oils, and greases down the drain if I run hot water?
No!
What if I run the garbage disposal?
No!
How How about if I use dish soap at the same time? Instead, hang on to a few containers to store and toss old cooking fat and grease once you're done. Jackson Water. Water for all the time.
And again, thank you to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus, making it possible for us to bring you this show weekdays at 1. So let's look at our forecast, or at least our current forecast, what it's looking like outside for Jackson and the surrounding areas right now. Our current temperatures are sitting, like I said, in the mid to upper 90s across the area, but our heat indices is much higher. So right now it says it's 95 here in Jackson, but our feels like temperature is 107 degrees. So it feels a lot hotter than it is. We look at our current radar. You can see where there's some rain down in Lawrence and Jefferson County, but nothing widespread, just typical afternoon showers, or summer showers rather. And as we go through the night, we are expecting some rain overnight, but not going to be a washout by any means. And the next 7 days, you can see our chances are higher. Tomorrow, 50%, but they taper off as we go into the weekend. But those temperatures go up. You can see over the weekend, we're looking at 96 degrees on Saturday and Sunday. And we are also watching the tropics. There is tropical storm out there, tropical storm Erin. To get more details on that, make sure or find out if it's something that we should be concerned about here in the capital city or in the metro area, be here at 2:30 today. Our first alert weather team is going to give you all the details on that. And of course, they will be able to do it much better than I can. So talking about apartments here in the city of Jackson that have caused some issues for residents and utilities. One we also told you about a while back was Chapel Ridge Apartments. Well, after months without an on-site property manager, that apartment complex now has new management. So Wyoming-based company called Chapel Ridge Holdings is now the one in charge of managing the Chapel Ridge Apartments. So of the 145 units there, 125 of them have some type of damage. For months, trash has been piling up. Homeless people have been moving into empty apartments, and several units are in deplorable condition with mold. Things got this way after the owner was arrested on fraud charges in another state. The new management company says that it plans to invest millions of dollars in an effort to breathe new life into the complex. Crews have already begun working to make some improvements. The complex is located in Councilman Vernon Hartley's ward, and he says he is glad to see this new company coming in to try and turn things around.
The new company is going to come in, and there will be challenges. They have to go in and clean up certain apartments where there have been squatting. They're going to come in and board up, but it is a big relief to have a company that can come in and manage that affair.
So about 24 people are living at Chapel Ridge right now, and crews will be at the complex daily to clean up and make renovations. So that is this week's Fight the Blight. We've told you about, we have it every week. It is a year-long series that we're doing here at WLBT, trying to shine the light on blighted properties and areas, businesses, empty lots, anything like that here within the city of Jackson. And if you have an area that you would like for us to look at and to cover and possibly do a story on, here's where you need to go to give us the information. So go to our website, WLBT.com. You see at the top of the page where it says Fight the Blight. You click on that, and it brings you to this form right here where you can fill out the information and you can give us the info on the eyesore. And we will get that and email you back, get back in touch with you if it's something that we can do a story on. So a hearing was held at the Mississippi Public Service Commission yesterday about the large solar farm that is slated to be constructed in Hinds County. So let me get this pulled up, sorry. The Soul City Solar Project, can't say that 10 times fast. The Soul City Solar Project is seeking a certificate of public convenience and necessity as part of the steps to move towards construction. However, there is a pending appeal to the state Supreme Court because of questions about how the property is zoned. Multiple community members spoke at the hearing last night with concerns about environmental impacts and how the solar farm could impact their property values. Meanwhile, both the Audubon Society and Sierra Club offered up support, saying that the company is doing its due diligence for safeguards.
And I had 2 realtors come to me that said they're very interested in your property, but they want to see where this solar project goes. They knew it was in the courts and they were waiting on that. So don't tell me that it does not affect property values. And don't tell me that it will not affect you selling your property.
We found that the project will have nominal impacts on any of those environmental considerations, which actually was a big part of us being able to get to this point of providing a letter of support.
This company has gone above and beyond what the normal business practices are.
So Central District Commissioner DeKeither Stamps did not make a ruling on the certificate request because of a zoning issue related to the project that is still on appeal with the state Supreme Court. Tune in, we will continue to follow this, and we will be bringing you more stories and more info on not only this solar farm or is a utility scale solar farm, but also other solar farms across the state here in Mississippi. And going to this Madison County now, for those of you in Canton, leaders with Canton Municipal Utilities are sharing some new information about your water bills. So Tuesday, the CMU board met to address the many complaints that they've received about a new rate increase that went into effect. Howard Young is the general manager of Canton Municipal Utilities, and he says there should have been a breakdown when it comes to the 25% utility rate increase that was announced back in April. He says that the confusion comes because some customers are calculating their new bills all wrong.
When we talk about those percentages, it's per utility. Each utility has a certain percentage, and you can't calculate the entire bill and look at it as a whole. You have to go by each line item, which is each utility. That's water and sewer.
Now, we also want to point out that CMU customers did have the opportunity to attend this board meeting, but no one showed up to voice their concerns. And something pretty exciting happened here in Jackson yesterday. Morgan Freeman fans got to see the Academy Award winning actor and Mississippi native up close and personal here in Jackson. So the occasion is the inaugural Big Voices for Children fundraiser. The event is sponsored by True Care Mississippi, which has partnered with Mississippi Early Learning Alliance. The fundraiser united leaders and advocates who are committed to a brighter future for Mississippi children. Freeman's daughter explains what this means for kids across the state here in Mississippi.
It's about coalition building. This work cannot be done by one individual or one organization. It's creating a system, right? An ecosystem. And so every player matters. And every organization that does anything that touches a child's life or is adjacent to.
So Freeman helped launch the alliance, and the fundraising luncheon was held at the 2 Mississippi museums in Jackson. I hate that I missed that. I love Morgan Freeman. He is one of my favorite actors. Love him so much. So I would have loved to be able to be there, but I probably would have embarrassed myself, like fangirling or something like that. All right, guys, it is going to be the end of WLBT Plus for today. Okay, of course, our First Alert weather team will be here at 2:30 to give you an in-depth look at your forecast. I will be back tomorrow for the top 3 with WLBT and for WLBT Plus at 1 o'clock. I hope to see you all then, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.